Coach, can you go over, like, explain a triple bottom again, like in a 2 minute?
Sure. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Goes like this, and this. There's a triple bottom. See it?
Okay, but like, what does that mean? Like, is it good news, bad news? Does it really matter?
Well, it matters because every one of these is a sign of weakness, meaning they're going downhill, right?
Correct.
So typically by the third time, it likes to do this more than it likes to do this because in people's minds, you're like, well, dude, if it can't stay away from this, I'm probably going to go to the downside, right?
Correct.
Just like
Okay.
the same thing up top, if it does this 3 times, well, that's typically a sign of strength. Like it keeps touching, right? So expect a pop. Doesn't mean it's going to, but that tells people like, hey, it keeps going up there. One of these times it's going to break. And then the other thing that I look for on something like a triple bottom, if it does this and then it takes a long time and then it does this and then immediately does that, super sign of weakness because it didn't take as long to come back, right?
Right.
Is Meta doing that right now?
Let's take a look. Yeah, Meta just exactly did a triple bottom. See it? Meta is a triple bottom.
Is it a triple Qs also, Coach?
It's here. Well, this is actually 4. This is a super sign of weakness, by the way. You got 1, 2, 3 immediately. This was super weak. And then right here. So Meta is extremely weak to the downside. Do you guys see it? The other thing you guys can watch on Meta, check this out. The other thing you should be paying attention to, now listen, it doesn't mean it's going to, but this is what it's showing. You see the overall trends to the downside? Plus here, 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 and here, right? And it's trending to the downside.
Jimmy's vortex.
You guys see it, right?
Yep.
It's extremely sign of weakness. So what I would do first thing is I draw this trend, which will look just like this. Then I'm going to draw the bottom, like where these keep touching, which is here. It's this wick, these candle bottoms, and this candle bottom. Then what you can do is finish this off right like there. See it? That's where it's trading inside of this area.
Coach, can you do the same thing to Google? Does it look like a triple top then?
Let me look. But do you guys see this? As soon as this breaks inside of this, one way or the other, run it. Google's different, but let me show you what Google is. Same thing. Always draw your trend line the very first thing you do whenever you look at anything, which is here. Can't really, nope, it doesn't go here and it's going to go here. So no, Google's completely 100,000% different. See it?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. So the kind of inverse of what you were just talking about with Meta.
Correct. Here's the difference. If you look at Meta, every time it comes down to the same level, down, down, right? This one's not doing that. It's here, then here, then here. See it? So if this is the same case, guess where it's going to go, right? Yes, SPY's identical. Yep. Up, up, up. See it?
God bless.
So here's what I would do with SPY. See this? Always draw your trend line. Bang, right there. See it?
Yes, sir.
And now, as long as it stays in here, you know where it's going. If this starts to pull and go through this trend line, you could see a possible bearish position going to the downside, right? So if this breaks at any point, any of this on this exact line, you could start to look here, right? If it does it, if it breaks through at any point, right?
Yeah.
So the nice thing is, let's say you entered a call here. The good thing is if you entered a call here, well, you know, as long as it stays above this line, you're golden, right? Doesn't matter if it keeps ding, 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 ding. None of that matters until, and then questionable, pay attention, everybody. So same thing here. Let's draw out Tesla, okay? Let me see if we can do this off the trend. Nope. Now here's the thing. You can't use a higher trend line if it doesn't make sense off this. Do you see how this would be here almost? So what I'm going to do is I'll try it off at this one. But right here, if Tesla, because it's trying to gap back down into the bottom here, right? So if it breaks back down there, you're going to look for 1 to 2 things. You're going to use this again that it's either going to be a big giant double bounce, or it's going to come back here. It's going to stay on this a little bit, consolidate, and then bye-bye, right? Yep. And it's very, 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 very weak. You want to know how I know that? See this? See how it's hovering around VWAP, couldn't make a decision? That's trash.